All right, this is a test. I'm gonna be standing here with the bees. There are bees all around me right now, and I'm probably gonna get stung. Do you get pain in your hands and wrists from using your smartphone all the time? If so, then you're gonna wanna watch through to the end of this video because I'm gonna show you exercises you can do anywhere using just a backpack, and I'm gonna explain why these exercises work, what they can do for you, and why you may have to do them for the rest of your life, but I'll also explain why that's not necessarily a bad thing. So if you're ready, let's get ready to think right, move right, and feel right. So I'm standing here in the San Francisco Bay Area right by the ocean, and I'm gonna show you what you can do to keep your hands and wrists happy. Now, when I travel, I don't get to carry dumbbells with me or any special equipment to train my hands and wrists, but I often find that I need to use my phone in order to navigate. So when I was in Japan recently, I was using my phone all the time to get from point A to point B in Tokyo and Osaka, wherever, and my hands and wrists would complain after a day or two of just constantly being on that phone. So here's what I do when I'm traveling to keep the muscles in my forearms, my hands, and my wrists strong and happy. You can take a backpack. I love this backpack. I got it from REI. This is not a paid promotion or a sponsored message or anything. You grab the straps wherever feels comfortable. You can use the heavily padded ones. You can use the nylon ones. And what you're gonna do is start off like this, and then you're just going to be lifting the backpack. It depends on how strong you already are. You want to start with a weight that feels tolerable, that doesn't cause any pain, that doesn't cause any clicking or snapping or popping, anything like that. You're just going to keep going in nice, controlled, smooth repetitions, really feeling the muscles on the top of the forearms working. Once you get a fatigue sensation there, you can go ahead and flip so that your palms are facing the sky, facing the ceiling. When you're doing this, again, you're looking for fatigue. You want to feel it on this side. And I find I really need to get a lot of extra right here. I want to feel extra work there. So what I'll often do is make sure that the way I'm holding the straps forces me to use some of that. So you can play around with the angles that you're using with your hands, wrists, and forearms. You can play around with how you're grabbing. Like you might want to come like this or come under this way, just depending on how your backpack straps feel. You can kind of play around, mess around, find the one that feels like it really just works your forearm, okay? Same thing with the overhand grip. Sometimes I'll come over like this, or I'll just kind of like find a little twisty way to do it so that I can really feel like that wrist is working itself, okay? Another thing you can do to strengthen the muscles in the back of the hands and fingers is to use a lighter weight. Okay, so what I'm about to show you is not how I want you to do it, but use lighter weight, or make sure you use assistance from the other hand. Use your fingers and put your fingers in through the strap, and then just get your fingers to hold that weight up, right? Trying to use the muscles on the back of your hand to keep the fingers like that so that the palm is open and face down, right? Those finger muscles also extend up into the back of the wrist and into the forearms. So just holding that as a static hold, or if it's light enough, if you can do repetitions of just letting the fingers flex and extend, then you're gonna be working those muscles really well so that your blood gets pumped into these muscles that often just go to sleep when you're using the phone. So again, just kind of putting your fingers through a strap and then up and down, up and down. Also, if you want to try to do a little more work to the muscles, the flexors of your fingers here, that's a little easier, right? Because we actually use those muscles. Those are really easy to fire. These extensors are pretty tough, but the flexors, if you want to do that, then you could do a similar thing, or you just don't even use a backpack, you use your other fingers. Now I find the finger flexors really need to be stretched and lengthened more. So kind of bringing them down into extension and then firing them to teach them to have strength at length, I find is much more important, because when you're using your cell phone, you got to remember your fingers are constantly in flexion already. They're curled up all the time. So the muscles on the back here are just kind of going into a relaxed stretch position, and you're just using some muscles here at the base of your thumb and your finger flexors to just hold the phone in that position, right? So we want to train a different position than what our body's normally doing. So we want to open that up. We want to fire these muscles back here to make ourselves feel more comfortable. Now, I also want to show you something you can do to really focus on the muscles here. That's something that I find I need to do a lot of. So what you can do is you take the backpack strap and you want to orient it so that the weight is kind of behind towards where your elbow is pointing. So the bulk of my weight is back that way. And then when I lift, I'm lifting it up towards the sky, towards my elbow. That is going to force me to use the muscles of the forearm right here to create that deviation of my wrist, right? To create this angle becoming smaller so that I'm using those forearm muscles. So you're gonna have to play around a little bit with your backpack, with how you twist and position your backpack so that you feel the forearms working there. Again, go to fatigue. Make sure you feel some blood pumping through there. If you're a veiny person like me, you're gonna see some of those veins pop up, and that's a good thing. So after you try this, I want you to let me know how it goes. Drop me a comment down below. For me, I have to do these exercises at least once a week to make sure that my forearms and hands feel good. If I'm using my phone a lot, then I gotta do these exercises to make sure things feel stable. Especially on my left side, for whatever reason, it tends to get a little more loosey-goosey. I think it has to do with how I use the keyboard on my laptop, and when I have my full keyboard, the keyboard shortcuts make this left arm, this left forearm and wrist not so comfortable. It just shuts off a bunch of muscles and then they start getting like real cranky there. Which brings me to the topic of why you might have to do these exercises maybe for the rest of your life, and why that's not such a bad thing. First of all, your alternative is to what? Take pain pills or get surgery? Around here, I really strongly suggest you don't get caught in rips, rest, ice, injections, pills, and surgery, because none of those are actually good long-term solutions. I don't think it's a good idea to cut into the human body unless absolutely necessary. The science agrees with me, because the effectiveness of these surgeries is usually pretty crappy. And if you've ever looked into pain pills, you know that pain pills are not good for you either. They will destroy your stomach or your liver. It's just not good. And injections, if you get a bunch of steroid injections, well, guess what? You're actually gonna rot the tissues in your body. So doing exercise on a regular basis to help your body feel good is not a bad thing at all. It's a great thing. In fact, keep in mind that your body is designed to be in movement. You feel more alive, the most alive, the more you are moving. The only time you're actually fully still in your whole life is when you are dead. You're dead. If you stop moving, you're literally dead. The great part of using exercise to make sure your body feels good is that you are always in control of that process. You don't have to pay anybody. You don't have to pay me. You don't even have to pay YouTube to watch this video. All you have to do is sit through a short 30-second ad, and that's it. What I would suggest, though, to pay me is to hit that like button. Or if you really want, you can help support this channel by making a donation, and I'll talk about that later. So with all of these exercises, you don't need to be doing them every single day. I would suggest starting off with just 2 or 3 times a week, not doing it on back-to-back days, just in case your body feels pretty sore after just trying these. So do these to some fatigue. It doesn't have to be like crazy, oh my God, I can't do any more fatigue. It should just be a little bit of burning, muscle working and burning feelings. You can do 1 or 2 sets in each of the directions I've shown you, and then just chill out, see how your forearms feel. What you'll most likely notice is that the meat around your bones has perked up, and that's what we're looking for, and that means you were successful. And then if you keep going another time, 2 or 3 times in a week, you're gonna notice, hey, your forearms, your fingers, everything starts to feel pretty good. I also want to give a big shout out to 2 people who just became prime movers to support the Upright Health channel on YouTube with their YouTube memberships. Pavel, or Powell, I'm pretty sure it's Pavel spelled with a W, and Emma Adams. Thank you both so much for becoming subscribing prime movers on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to support this channel on YouTube, then please click that join button or use the thanks button to make a one-time donation, or find me on Patreon or use the donate link you'll find in the description box. I really appreciate it. For programs that you can do at home to make your body feel better, go to uprighthealth.com/DIY and find a program that's going to work for you. For more free videos to help you with your body, check these out here. Like, share, subscribe, and comment so the YouTube algorithm stops trying to push me down. And as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.